Hello, for quite a long time I wanted to review something from company Oriolus. It's a joint company, partially from Japan, partially from China, as far as I know. But they are making pretty interesting audio gear and I wanted to review something that they've made. But unfortunately, since this in-ear monitors, I didn't have such a chance. But today I've got their entry-level model Oriolus Finschi. I suppose I pronounced it right. It's the most affordable model in their lineup as far as I know currently. It's dual driver hybrid in-ear monitors featuring single dynamic driver and single nose balanced armature. Price is about $185. Link will be in the description, and I think it's enough for the introduction, and let's have a closer look. Box is fairly traditional. It's black cardboard in white sleeve with nice polygraphy, pretty stylish looking. As usual, on the back side you will have technical specifications, 112 decibels of sensitivity, 18 I suppose it's ohms of impedance, frequency response, 9 grams, so pretty sensitive, not super sensitive, but definitely on the sensitive side. Sorry, I hit my light accidentally. So here is the box. You open it this way, different papers, nice case with in-ear monitors and package with tips. So let's unpack it here. First of all, let's look at the tips. You will have short clip, pretty big and bulky, cleaning tool, 2 pair of double flange silicones, 1, 2, 3 pair of single flange silicones and 3 pair of foams. And also pretty reliable hard plastic case. Inside, nicely organized, you will have in-ear monitors themselves, cable and this nice piece of leather that used for cable organizing. As you can see, presentation and accessory set is really nice. Really good and stylish design. It has pretty regular ergonomic shape, but with noticeable difference. If you've seen many reviews, you can see that Oriolus really stand out from typical Chinese in-ear monitors. Still, it has ergonomic shape, nice semi-transparent plastic, black faceplates with company's logo, small vent for compensation of the pressure, and pretty short spout with C-clip. So there are 2 different bores, one for balanced armature, with probably it's the one with filter, and second for the dynamic driver. It's holding tips pretty nicely and fitting really well into the ears because they are small and they have all edges smoothed, so no sharp sides, nothing to irritate your ears. It's a bit hard to pull the tips because spouts are really thick, but once you succeed, they are holding pretty well. Build quality is nice. They look really reliable. Cables are made replaceable. Here used 2-pin connectors. Pretty hard to disconnect. I probably won't pull them out now, or I will, not sure if I succeed. They require a lot of pressure, a lot of force to be removed, so no, I won't remove them right now. But I think you can believe me that here used 2-pin connectors. Cable is traditional with format ear hooks. This part is pretty soft, but not as soft as many modern cables, so it's something probably to be called average. There is slight microphonic effect present, but thanks to these ear hooks it won't bother you much. It goes down to the splitter, and after the splitter it goes braided to the angle jack, and this part is actually a bit harder than the part above the splitter, so cable could be a bit softer, I think. But anyway, from the positive side, it's pretty reliable construction. So to summarize probably this part, you know, pretty traditional in terms of design with a bit of difference, but you already seen that, and really solidly built, so I hope they will serve the owner for quite a long time. And of course about the sound, they require about 20 hours of burn-in. You know, recently, I don't know why, but more and more often modern in-ear monitors require some burn-in. Like a few years ago, only the 10 to 20% of IEMs required burn-in, but now almost all models require from 5 hours to 20. And also you need to find the proper tips, because spouts here are a bit short, so proper tip selection is required to provide decent sound isolation. Also, they have slight driver flags, but I think it's not an issue, they're just working as they should be. And let's have a player on the table, and now we can proceed with sound description. Actually, my impressions on this Oriolus model differs a little bit from other reviews that I've read over the internet. So I will just share my impression, and that's all. Sound, of course, is subjective, and I just telling what I hear. So they are warm, but actually not too bassy. Bass is present and it's accented, but it's not bass heavy. It's not bass heavy model. Yes, that's probably the right word. They are bassy but not bass heavy, and mainly it's achieved via the lowering of the treble. So I've read that they are W-shaped, that they are V-shaped, but for me treble here is definitely recessed. Mids are lower than bass, and treble is even lower. So let's probably proceed step by step. So bass here is accented, and it has good depth, not super, but definitely good. It has normal resolution, it's typical dynamic driver bass, really well balanced. When you have nice weight, nice pump, you won't get superb crystal clear resolution of balanced armatures, but it's a dynamic driver bass with good texture, with normal resolution, with pretty good control, so pretty nice for those who like accented bass and a bit warmer sound. As an example, for the treble, I've got classical track. It's super classics. It's Mindfields by the Prodigy. It's pumpy, it's groovy, it has a lot of bass, and at the same time it has a lot of three-dimensional effects on the mids, and these in-ear monitors manage to represent it really nicely with lots and lots of nicely layered, enjoyable bass. Mids are tuned a bit on the warmer side too, so creators sacrificed a bit of micro-detalization in order to get more warmer and more analog sound. They've just added more weight, so mids here are a bit on the thicker side, and with some genres it sounds really enjoyable, with others it don't, but I think that these in-ear monitors were initially tuned to be not for everyone. Actually, no, there is no in-ear monitors for everyone, but these have a really well targeted audience. So it's people who like warm analog sounding, but with normal resolution. So resolution is normal, really good male vocal, female vocal are missing a bit of crispness sometimes, but male vocals are really efficient and enjoyable. Also, almost all instruments, especially acoustic ones, are also really weighty, really realistic, and because of that, sounding also enjoyable. Imaginary soundstage is about average both in width and in depth, and actually I think I can say that for me it's a good result for the warmer sounding in-ear monitors, because usually warmer IEMs giving me a shallower stage. As an example, for the mids, I've got Charles Mingus Jelly Roll. If you didn't heard this album, I definitely recommend you. It's a really great masterpiece of post-bop subgenre, and it's really enjoyable. So Charles play here acoustic bass, and there are a lot of different trumpets in this track, and thanks to this IEM monitors, they sounding super realistic and super efficient. They're highlighting the body of the instruments, of the bass, of the trumpets, of the drums that are present here. They adding a bit additional weight, and it gives you, the sense of more three-dimensional instruments. You definitely can close your eyes and imagine all that positioning on the stage, all that instruments with realistic size, and it's a really great achievement. And the treble here, it's recessed, so it's definitely a good model for those who don't like treble, who don't like sharpness. Extension is about average, not superb, but not bad, something in between. So treble is recessed, and it's definitely done on purpose. It has normal resolution with really good attacks and decays, with good sense of realism, but because here they decided to tune treble down, it's not it's not treble forward model. So on some tunes they are lacking a bit of that treble sparkle, but on many other tunes they sounding polite, not harsh, and definitely not sibilant. And as an example for treble, I've got Déchiré from Notre-Dame de Paris, classical musical, I really like it. And here they have really good recorded acoustic guitars, and acoustic guitars here required a nice treble representation. Not super extended, but with good resolution and good level of naturalness, and this IEM monitors gives that. At the same time, they are lacking a bit of treble extension to sound to represent fully percussion in this track, and but guitar sounding really nice and realistic, and added weight here is beneficial for them. In terms of pairing, they require something with black background because they are not super sensitive, but on the sensitive side, so something with lower background noise will be a good plus, but at the same time they don't require a lot of driving power. In terms of genre, they definitely great with genres that benefit from warmer representation, starting with some electronic music and ending with some acoustic music. If you are a fan of some well-recorded acoustic tracks like Chesky ones, for example, and other stuff like that, it's a really worthy option to consider. At the same time, they won't be probably the best choice for heavy metal because they don't have enough of treble forwardness to sound aggressive enough. But with classical rock, for example with Dire Straits, I really enjoy it with many of their tracks. So, as a short summary, well-tuned, warmer sound, at the same with slight accent on the bass, but not bass heavy. It's tuning for those who prefer warmer and more analog sound. And a few words about comparisons, just a pair of models to show some basic reference points. So iBasso IT01S, they are more natural, more resolving, and at the same time they definitely noticeably brighter and with more treble extension, so they can sound sharper, while these ones have more bass and sounding warmer. It's just quite an opposite representation. Or what I can recall also in this segment, for example, I don't know, my favorite Hi-Fi Boy OS V3, they are more resolving, a bit more resolving and more natural, while these have more weight on lows and more weighty mids and more full-bodied instruments. So I won't be trying to recall some other models right now. If you are interested in some comparisons, just write the comment and I will compare them. And actually probably also let's speak about TFZ number 3 that I reviewed recently. They are noticeably cheaper, but at the same time they have a bit similar tuning, but TFZ has more weight on the mids and a bit less detailed treble than these ones, for example. Just a bit different representation of the bass heavy model. So if you need some additional comparison, just feel free to ask in the comments. And it was Oriolus, what actually is their model name? Finschi, Oriolus. Once again I've hit the light. Nice song by early Metallica. So it was Oriolus Finschi, good hybrid model tuned for those who prefer weighty and a bit warmer sound. Thank you for attention.